I always do this. Always do this. What's up, everybody? I always start talking and forget I'm muted still. Anyway, how's everybody doing? So as far as the E3 stuff, I'm probably going to be counting that or keeping up with that on like a case-by-case basis. I don't think I'm going to be... I don't have the time or the freedom to keep up with all the live streams that are going on. And apparently a lot of people are having some trouble with actually avoiding claims on some of them. So I'm probably only going to cover those on like a video or trailer by trailer basis or something like that. What did they show? Did they show anything cool? You said it was weak. I haven't seen anything from anybody that I'm excited for just yet. Like, I know there was the Summer Game Fest thing the other day. I didn't really... Nothing really caught my eye. There's some cool indie games that looked really cool, interesting and stylized. That looked pretty interesting. But nothing like... God damn! God, the chat in the E3 stream was painful to read. I can only imagine, man. I can only imagine how bad that was with Star Wars and E3. Well, E3 is going on pretty much all week. So we probably won't hear anything until the later part of the week. And most of the Star Wars games that are in development right now are in really early development. So, especially the wholesome ones, but that's just me. Yeah, exactly. I did see the Elden Ring finally got a trailer. And I started to watch it, but then I clicked out of it because I was like, I don't know if I want to react to this or not. So I haven't actually finished the trailer. I watched like 30 seconds of it, or not even that really, and clicked off of it. What I did see looked pretty cool though. What's up? Anything DC related? Not yet. Not yet. What is the E3 schedule again? Let's see. So today is the start. So we got Devolver Direct, Xbox and Bethesda just kicked off. Or no, that'll be tomorrow. Square's tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to Square. Nintendo Direct on Tuesday, Capcom Monday, future game shows tomorrow, PC game shows tomorrow, EA Play is Thursday. What's funny is too, alongside a lot of this is there's separate games conventions going on around it too. So like a lot of them, like PlayStation, will probably be holding their own Direct as well. So I'm kind of curious how to keep track of all this stuff going on because, you know, we just had Games Fest and all that kick out yesterday. And we're talking about whatever right now. Talking about whatever. What do I think of the new season of Fortnite? It's all right. I'm not like too huge on the whole alien thing. Have you ever wondered why the Arrowverse seems in a decline, not just in viewership, but in storytelling quality? Honestly, I think it's mostly because, I'll just say like the writers and the structure of the shows don't allow for the writers to really spread out all of these ideas consistently between large season orders. Like Flash was running 20 episodes to 22 episodes back in the day, and just padding that out takes a lot of time. So like I think they have right now they're struggling with keeping the the storyline's engaging and interesting, because at this point, because their episode lengths before, I feel like they've burned out a lot of their ideas early on. Yeah, CW makes a mandated runtime. And it's because the CW is a free network. They don't make any profits on... The only place they really make any of their profits are selling their shows to streaming and via ads, because the channel itself is free. The app is free. You can watch all of their shows for free. You cannot have internet in your house and just hook up an antenna and get CW for free. It's a local channel in most states, so like it's a lot of their financial backing is not as strong as a lot of other people, because they make it available to the widest audience possible, which is one of the reasons why it's... You can't really compare the CW, I think, to other networks either. And I think despite that, the shows that they do have are quite commendable for what they're working with. For something you can get for free is pretty crazy to me. Whoa, what's up, Echo Base? How you doing? How are you guys? Am I hyped for Rick and Morty season 5? Not really. I don't really watch Rick and Morty anymore. Well, yeah, we could talk about Loki. We could talk about anything that we watched this week, from, you know, anything from Batwoman, Superman, Lois, Flash, Bad Batch. Bad Batch is kicking up the gear. This last episode was fucking awesome. Lord of the Rings will get a new animated movie. That's interesting. Bad Batch is meh. I have to disagree on that. I think it's just as good as Clone Wars. Not just as good, obviously, but like it's along that baseline. Even like Clone Wars at its most meh is still pretty cool. I still hate Batwoman. I power to you, but I enjoy it. It is not worth the hate. Undeserving of the hate, rather. Do you think we'll get a Batman spinoff from Batwoman in the next couple of years? Maybe eventually. I think maybe eventually, especially now that Superman's got his own show, it's possible. I mean, they have to answer the question of where is Bruce in all of this time. Like, they have to answer that question eventually. It's been a mystery for like 3-4 years now. After the first episode... Did you watch the last episode? It's fucking awesome. I mean, we've had some filler, quote unquote filler episodes so far, but yeah. I think it's just as strong right now. I think it's I think it's going to start kicking up the gear here in the next little bit. It looked like a chick in the hooded cloak. Are we talking about Bad Batch? Sanchez? But I don't know. I think Batwoman has a chance to get better in season 3 now that they are padding out their roster more. With the reveal that Batwing is indeed going to be a player, they dropped the official look at that suit, and I planned on making a video for it, but like I got too swept up in everything else going on that I just didn't get around to it. That Batwing suit looks fucking good. So yeah, it looks... I'm excited to see where they go with that. They introduced Stephanie Brown, so we could have her come in and also be Spoiler. We can also have her be Batgirl, since we know that Barbara Gordon in this universe is also paralyzed, so she's Oracle. We've never actually talked to her. We know there's also a Robin out there somewhere. We don't know how many, but I'm curious to see where they could go with it, because I think right now, I think the thing that would help the show a lot more is to pad out, which is kind of the opposite of what I would say for a lot of the other shows, where I feel like they need to rein in the amount of people in their cast. I think Batwoman needs a little bit more of an ensemble. Black Lightning is over, but it is still in. It is still in. the CW universe. I mean, Cress Williams is in talks to come back for future appearances and is in talks on appearing in the first 5 episodes of the next season of Flash as Black Lightning. I think the reason that I'm not crazy about Bad Batch is because I had just binged Castlevania before Bad Batch and loved it. I'm starving for some more adult-themed anime show, Star Wars. I can see that too, man. I haven't watched the Castlevania anime yet. But yeah, I can definitely feel you there. Wanting something a little more adult themed would be cool. Thank you for the super chat, Scott. Here's my hero lineup prediction for Flash Season 8 event. Black Lightning, Stargirl, Superman, and Supergirl in one episode. Maybe. Batwoman and White Canary. Thoughts? I feel like we will get somebody new. Stargirl is a good thing, a good possibility considering Jay Garrick is popping up in season 2 of Stargirl, so we might start to blend and blur the lines of the multiverse again, especially since Naomi has been announced, and that plays with the multiverse. In just the part of the plot of the show is dealing with the multiverse, so I think they could definitely open the door for all of that coming back around. Sorry for the delay on that though, Scott. Cannot wait to see you react to Boba episode 1. Dude, I can't wait for Boba episode 1. I can't wait for Book of Boba in general. I think that's going to be some insane shit. Especially with Robert Rodriguez just helming the show in general. Because he's one of my favorite directors, and he's just like an entertaining dude. I think the fact that it's going to fill in the gaps between Return of the Jedi and where we are, while also picking up where we left off, I'm excited for that, man. I am really, really excited for that. Black Lightning is over. Did they take down Odell? Oh yeah, they got rid of that a long time ago. Have I watched MODOK? I have not yet. Because of the nature of that show, I'm not sure if I'm going to pick it up as like a show to react to later. Right now, like obviously with all the shows we got right now, I'm a little overloaded, but I would like to maybe react to it on my own at some point. Hope the new Kate Kane stays as a main character next season. They don't just write her off. I agree with that. I 100% do not want Kate Kane to just go off and retire or some bullshit like that. If she sticks around as like mentors or something, or maybe takes up a different mantle, I don't know. I just don't. I feel like the story is still not too linked to Kate, but Kate's still the one I'm the most invested in. That storyline, her family, and all of that. So I feel like you can have Kate and have Ryan in the show, and you not have to have them compete. What's my favorite recent comic book storyline, be it DC, Marvel, or Image? Favorite recent storyline? See, I don't keep up with the actual comics that much, but I do kind of peer my eye in every now and then, see what's going on. I think the one most recently that I found kind of interesting has been, oh shit, what was it called? It was this last arc with the Flash where it was like, god damn it, what was it called? It was like where a bunch of speedsters, it caused them to like release that speed chart that ranked all of the heroes' speeds. I can't remember the name of it. It's not the Flash War. That was it. I thought it was something War, but yeah, the Flash War. I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm going to play a game today. I don't know. It just really kind of comes down to how I'm feeling at the moment. Right now, we've got a lot to kind of bounce around through and talk about. So I really, right now, at least want to just kind of keep up with the chat for the time being. Let's see, where did we leave off? Leonardo DiCaprio has been cast in an undisclosed role in a DC project. If you can get me a source for that, because I haven't seen anything official about that. I would enjoy that, though. Leonardo DiCaprio is, over the years, has become just such a good fucking actor. Like, I remember just the olden days when he was coming onto the scene, and he was just like that pretty boy. He always played the same kind of role with The Beach, Romeo and Juliet, Titanic, and I'm just seeing him like age into like this brilliant actor has been pretty interesting. And I would love for him to pick up a role in DC or Marvel, whichever one. But I don't know if that would be something he's honestly interested in. So I'd be curious if that would actually be something he would be into. That He-Man animation looks pretty sweet. Yeah, man. I think that's one thing I've seen from Powerhouse. Even though I haven't seen any of their shows, I've always seen some of their trailers and people talk about them, and I've seen some of the fights and some breakdowns. Their animation is pretty fucking sweet. It's just they haven't made anything that I actually have any personal attachment to. So I've always been a little procrastinating. I've been procrastinating on checking out any of their shows. That one, though, I'm probably going to check out, though, because I'm also a huge Kevin Smith fan. So I'm definitely going to check it out when it comes about. Do you think the Marvel and DC comics should have a crossover? They have before, and I don't know if they're in a good spot to try that again. But I would be interested in seeing them doing it. It would be definitely curious to see how a modern version of that would go. It's a major Boba Fett fan hype for Boba Fett. I mean, they had a crossover before Gabriel, I'm pretty sure. Gabriel. Was that a reply to something else? Reply before Gabriel. What's one DC character you wish had a video game based on? Green Arrow, Wonder Woman, The Flash. I think a Wonder Woman video game would be pretty cool, but it would also be very similar to God of War, I would imagine. I think a Flash game would be really cool, but really hard to program. I would love to see a Flash video game. I think that would be pretty dope if they could somehow make a game where you could move that fast while also still having the world and the gameplay be coherent. I think that would be something I'd be interested in the most. There you go, in the multiverse. I hope the Flash will explore the new multiverse and go to everything. He's not going to go bouncing around all those shows. You got to reel in your expectations. Just because they open the door to the multiverse, you got to remember half those people are so hard to get on board with this stuff, man. So you got to rate it in. They're only going to go to the worlds and the universes that they're able to easily and financially play with. Do I watch Arrow? Watched it all, baby. I have reactions to the final season. I didn't start the channel obviously until like 2 years ago, and I didn't start actually reacting to shows except for like the last year. But I did start and I reacted to season 8 and Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then Flash, Doom Patrol, Stargirl. And it's only been these most recent seasons of all the shows that I've been doing actual episode reactions for. Previously, I've just been doing episode reviews and just kind of talking about them. Just because I was kind of harder for me to do at the time. I can see them writing Kate off, though. I want her to stay, but I can see her. Yeah, I can see them writing her off. I just don't want them to. And Sonic, you asked that earlier, and I answered you. I'm very meh about it. The coolest thing about the new season is that in 60 days I can play as Superman. That's really it. What's your opinion on The Flash and how it's affected you this season? I'm curious what you mean. I enjoy this season. I don't think it's definitely not one of the strongest seasons. I like this better than last season. Aside from the Bloodwork stuff, I thought the Bloodwork section of last season was really cool. Just with the whole mirror stuff in the back end, it was a little uninteresting. I think overall this season's been pretty strong so far, and it's just I'm I'm curious to see where it evolves from here. I'm really looking forward to this next arc. This last episode, as far as affecting me, reminded me why I love the show and the things that I've enjoyed about it, like the memory lane trip we took with Cisco leaving. I love the show, even through all of its ups and downs. And sometimes I can be annoyed with the show. I can still have critiques on a show. I can still not like certain things that a show does, but I still enjoy it. And I still like watching it. Definitely. And that goes for Batwoman too. Cause like there was that middle point of this season, I was getting so fed up with all this like forced bullshit drama that I was about ready to just quit the show. And these last few episodes have really, really got me hyped up for where it's going to go. Did you find their channel on YouTube? The He-Man channel? Yeah. I checked out that link that you gave me. Thank you for that, by the way. What's up, Mocker? It's been heavily rumored that Matthew McConaughey would play Two-Face in the Batman. I don't pay attention to rumors because most of them turn out to be fake. So until it's confirmed by a actual source that is like a bigger trade, that'll be the only time I really pay attention to something like that. Hey, Omni in chat, how are you everyone? A wonderful day. What did you guys think of Loki? I thought it was awesome. I think it was the best premiere of honestly any of the Disney Plus shows that have come out so far. It was well shot, well written, beautifully written. The chemistry with all the actors, the performances, the jokes, the serious tones, all of it was there. Tom Hiddleston, for me, a person who has had immense Loki fatigue over the last few years, I found myself really, really enjoying it. We need, at the very least, a New Gods show on HBO Max. That would be cool. I just don't see it happening. WB is just... they want to be done with all that. And for what Vexington said there, doesn't want anything Snyder related. I mean, that's just... Snyder didn't even get to that. They could do that and it not be Snyder related. That means saying they want to avoid anything Snyder related just because he touched Batman, Superman, and all these characters just means that they don't want to revisit his storyline. They could still visit that and make it its own continuity and do its own thing. Otherwise, there would be no The Batman. There would be no Superman movie coming out. There would be nothing else like that because Snyder touched it. They can do any of that and just make it not connected. But they are very anti-Snyder right now, for sure, though. I can positively say that every single character on Flash has annoyed me at one point or another. Still love that show, and it's had its ups and downs. Exactly. And not every show's perfect. Again, I give it a lot of slack because, again, it's a free network. You can be poor as shit. And as long as you have power and a screen, you can watch the CW. Like, it's available for everybody. That's one of the things about it. It's open access. You just need an antenna and a screen, and you can watch the CW for free. That's why it annoys me when people compare that to stuff like Disney Plus, stuff on HBO. It's not the same. Those are premium services. Like, there's always going to be constraints on the CW that they can't shake. Superman and Lois is doing a surprisingly good job. Yeah, even the app is free. 100%. Let's see. Where are we at? Out of all the seasons of The Flash, my least favorite was season 4. But I can't get over with that cheesy "We Are the Flash." That doesn't, the "We Are the Flash" thing doesn't bother me as much as it bothers a lot of other people. But yeah, season 4 was Thinker, right? Yeah. I actually really liked season 4. I really liked the Thinker as a villain. It was the only time I feel like they've done a good non-speedster villain. But the problem with that Thinker storyline is they made him too OP to the point that the way the season resolves is so anticlimactic because they made him so overpowered. How they beat him was very underwhelming. But they wrote themselves into a corner because they basically made him like too powerful. But I really like DeVoe. And speaking of DeVoe, I'm really excited because I'm a Doctor Who fan that we're going to see Peter Capaldi play DeVoe in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. I'm excited for that. Back in 98, WB approached Joel Schumacher to make a 5th Batman movie. The man was featured Scarecrow in his... You're really obsessed with those Joel Schumacher movies, Daniel. I want to see an upgrade in quality of Disney Plus shows. WandaVision was bad. Falcon and Winter Soldiers was meh. Loki is great. Oh, you see an upgrade in quality. It's hard to say that they even planned to have an upgrade in quality because they were all mostly being filmed around the same time. One show just happened to be more consistent than the others. I think Loki definitely got a lot more attention because of how much it's going to directly tie into the films. WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier suffered the most from just having a lot of changes made on the fly. You know, storylines that were just removed for time from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, character development that was removed from Falcon and the Winter Soldier that helped. Like, it just, a lot of it though was the oh shit, what are they called? Flag Smashers storylines got cut. WandaVision had whole storylines changed while they were filming it, and you can kind of tell. The director even said there's threads still left in the show. There are clues that were meant to set some other things up that still ended up in the final cut that alluded to something that they ended up cutting out completely. Like the whole Senior Scratchy reveal got removed. This like whole Scooby-Doo like scene with Ralph Boner and gang, the whole gang investigating Agatha's house, all that was removed. It was just like there was a lot of stuff in those two shows, those first two MCU shows that got cut out that just made a lot of it really choppy going through it. But that aside, I thought they were still really great, in my opinion. I personally really loved both of them. I'm a sucker for old sitcoms because I grew up with a lot of them with my mom, my grandparents, and stuff like that. Watched a lot. I've watched a shit ton of Nick at Night. So I've seen most of the shows that they were kind of spending on play on. Once it started getting to the modern stuff, once they got past Malcolm in the Middle, that was when I was kind of like, I vaguely get these references. Do you think characters like Cecile and Allegra deserve their own episodes? We haven't seen much of Barry this season, have we? The Flash. Yeah, no. That's another thing too. Like, there's not enough The Flash on The Flash. I think that's been my biggest critique of it since like since the end of season 3. The cast is too big. See, where I think Batwoman could use more heroes on the scene, The Flash has like the reverse problem. There's too many people they feel like they need to keep up with that aren't interesting enough in their own right to kind of focus on everything. I don't know. It's just hard for The Flash right now. I really want them to like rein in their focus. Though I think this last season they've been doing a lot better of a job of making Iris relevant because she just kind of fell to the wayside in these past 2 seasons. You think July 20th, 2012 was the worst day in DC Comics movie history? What day? God, that was... what was that? That was... Are you talking about the Aurora shootings? Yeah, that definitely was not a good day. I can tell you that. Can't remember the Flash seasons, but definitely enjoy them at different parts. Sent you a vid on disc. We turn down the vid. Again, I thank you, Daniel. I don't care for the Joel Schumacher stuff. They're fun, they're campy, but I'm glad they didn't make more. I'll say that for sure. What's up, Lil Andrew Luke? Hopefully Stephen Amell will return for the Flash for the final episode. I miss him so much. I do too, man. I miss my beefy Canadian husband. Shit. When's he gonna? I don't see that happening. I really don't. So it sucks, but yeah, he ain't coming back. Now Vexiden, he ain't coming back ever again. He said he's open to it if they have a good idea or if he's desperate. So I wouldn't say ever again for Stephen Amell come back. He's already had talks with Greg Berlanti about the possibility of it if they needed him to during COVID. But that was also an act of desperation because he didn't think Heels was going to go through. And Heels did go through. And I'm actually looking forward to watching Heels when that comes out. Yeah, I wouldn't say never, but it's definitely unlikely. What's your opinion on Will Arnett voicing Batman and Zach Galifianakis voicing Joker? Are we talking about Lego Batman? I liked it. Will Arnett has a good Batman voice. Zach Galifianakis, I honestly don't remember his Joker that much. But I loved that movie. I think the reason WandaVision was just meh was because its ending was anticlimactic. I think, again, I've talked about this before, and I know a lot of you probably weren't here when we were talking about WandaVision, but I think that a lot of the anticlimacticness of that was because too many people were wanting too big of things from it. The speculation, the theories, and all of that all built up the show to be larger than it ended up being. And that's kind of on us. I think setting expectations aside, I found the finale to be pretty good. Pretty good. But not amazing, but pretty good. Hopefully Godspeed gets more episodes after this season. Seems he's only getting 3 so far. I mean, he's, from what I understand, the big bad of this season. So we'll see. Or, well, of the back end of the season, of this upcoming graphic novel. Do you think the TVA will go after new Gamora? Loki would know Gamora as well, since she was Thanos' daughter, and Loki worked with him for a while. I don't know, because the TVA is very contradictory right now on what they are okay with and what they are not, so I don't know if they would actually go after this Gamora. Maybe. Maybe not. But then again, remember, they said all the Avengers stuff was supposed to happen, so fuck if I know, man. Vexiton, just let people have their opinions and their thoughts. You don't need to go attacking every other person who says something you're whatever about. Cisco is out of the Flash, and he left his hot girlfriend. See you on Legends. He's not going to be on Legends, Daniel. I just told you this. I've told you this many a time. He's gone. He's not going to be in another show. He's not going to go be a regular in another CW show. He's done. He probably won't even act again. But we'll see. He's more of a musical guy anyway, so we'll see. We just have to keep an eye out. Whatever he does do, I fully support it, though. The show introduced me to Carlos Valdez, and I'm all the happier for it. I really wish we got a sequel to the Lego Batman movie. I do too. I think that would have been awesome. Hey, what's up, Canada? Canada Graphs. Just sitting here being bitter because YouTube is still checking my video for an hour. Yeah, have you been having that problem? How long's your video? Because, like, I've been having a lot of problems with the checking thing myself. Are you leaving it up on the, like, the little pop-up window that says it, or are you checking in the content section of your studio? 8 minutes and it's over an hour. Yeah, I've ran into that problem. It's just my opinion, but personally think that The Flash made the mistake of rushing all this multiverse stuff with season 2. See, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying with the way the shows worked in the early days. Why are the early episodes so much better than where they are now? They have 20 some episodes a season, and they fill that with decent episodes. Even their filler episodes, a lot of the time, their villain of the week episodes, part of the time, were still pretty interesting. But when you have these long ass seasons and you try to fill them with your best ideas, what does that leave you with down the road? Not a lot to do. That's why you have a lot of these jump the shark episodes. You got a lot of these episodes that the characters spend the entire episode going to do a thing just to decide not to do the said thing they were doing the entire time, and then just give up on it together, basically making the entire episode a waste. Which is why I think from the get-go, one of their biggest problems, their biggest struggle has been having these long ass seasons. Look at stuff like Daredevil. Look at stuff like any of the Defenders shows, except for Iron Fist. They had 13 episode seasons. You keep that story tight, precise, zeroed in, and you can tell these stories longer. That means you could have probably had the multiverse involved maybe in season 3, season 4, if you paced yourself a little bit better. But like with The Flash, like you said, like I feel like they blew their load really early with a lot of their stuff because they were like, yeah, we got this. We're a hit show. Let's do it. Ha! And then when we get to later seasons, they're like, what can we do? What ideas do we have left on the table? Hell, we had Speedster Grodd in an episode. Who the fuck would have thought that? I am checking my studio. Yeah, let me know what it says on the content, because I've had to actually go to the content tab and look in the buffering part under the video to actually see if it's actually done, because that little pop-up window, at least for me, has not been updating properly lately in the past couple of weeks. For me, I can't actually trust that little pop-up window that comes up and immediately after you upload a video. How you doing? I'm doing good though. Coming back to that, what streaming service is my favorite? Probably HBO Max, to be honest. But I have a lot of bias towards that. Obviously, the Lord of the Rings stuff, the DC stuff, and Friends is on there. So that's my favorite currently. There's a 50% chance Stephen Amell might come back someday. I wouldn't say never, for sure. I don't know, 50%'s a little high. I think that's a little high. Theories really got out of hand with WandaVision. Definitely agree with that. Zack Snyder, Dark Knight Returns could be the greatest movie ever. Could have been, but Warner Brothers and DC won't work with him ever again at this point. Unless Discovery comes in with this new ownership and pushes things. And I've said this before, and I know it's probably an unpopular opinion. I don't like The Dark Knight Returns. I don't like that Batman. I don't like anything to do with that version of Batman. I don't like a lot of Frank Miller's work, personally. Loki's show has me thinking about alternate MCU timelines that will spawn if the What If series. I said that in my reaction to the first episode, that I think this variant Loki or our Loki or both of them, by the end of the show, the TVA will be deleted. I think they are collecting these charges and they are going to set them all off in the TVA, erasing the TVA. Because as long as the TVA is around, you can't have the multiverse, right? So it's going to unravel with their absence, allowing Wanda to break things that they can't control. Or maybe Wanda herself as a Nexus being will cause an event that causes them, that actually makes it to where they aren't able to actually combat it. Or maybe while this Loki weakens them to the point that they can't stave off what Wanda is doing, and thus unraveling the multiverse, which in turn will give us all of these what if stories. Lucky actors, they make a few shows and a movie or two and they can afford to retire. It is what it is, man. You think we'll see Melissa Benoist show up on Superman and Lois? I think at some point they have to. They don't have to, but I would like them to have that happen, or at least have it referenced. So we're only a few episodes before Diggle shows up on Superman and Lois, so I'm really excited to see how that plays out. Wait, maybe WB canceled Lego because it would have been better than Justice League. Oh, that's funny. Flash fell off. Hopefully Superman and Lois won't. So far, these writers are really impressing me with like making this family drama relatable, engaging, real. And I think that, again, something that I love that they're doing with Superman and Lois, even though they kind of with it a little bit, is the show was only ordered for 13 episodes. Because of the pandemic, they bumped it up to 15. But I hope that they stick with the 13 episode cutoff, because that allows them to stay tight and hopefully avoid a lot of the mistakes that came down the road. There's a lot more Superman stories you can tell than you can with some of the other shows. A lot of the other shows, especially Arrow, you had a lot of Arrow storylines that were just Batman storylines, but obviously WB wouldn't let them do a Batman show. So that's why they made Arrow. And that's why Arrow, Oliver became the surrogate for Bruce Wayne effectively, you know, having his own Oracle, his own, all that, him being Ra's al Ghul's successor. There was a lot of Batman things that they brought into Arrow because they weren't allowed to do anything with it. WB needs to back the fuck off. If they are going to tout this whole multiverse shit, they need to loosen their reins. The biggest hindrance, aside from the episode orders for these CW shows, is WB. Again, who is the enemy in all of this stuff? It is DC Comics, DC Films, and WB. They have put so many restrictions on these shows. You're not allowed to use this character. You can't reference that. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can do this. You can have this character, but not that one. Or even if they give them permission to use a character and then they decided later that person might show up in a movie, they made them kill that character off and remove that storyline from the show. WB is the enemy of the films and of the TV shows. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Mandy. Now you're really busy with all your reactions, but you think you would get around to reacting to Sweet Tooth in the future? It's a great series. I watched the first episode already. I got to watch that with the early virtual premiere. I thought about recording my reaction to it then, and maybe I should have anyway, but it was like watermarked with my full name. So I was like, I can't really get rid of that if I wanted to show it, but I don't know. I liked it. I loved the first episode. I don't know if it's something that I don't know. I didn't get the vibe that it would be something that would be fun to react to, if that makes sense. Like, I really liked watching it, but I don't know if it would be fun to watch me watch it. Does that make sense? I don't know. I do want to watch it. I've still only seen the first episode, though. I wish they would do a version of Batman v Superman, but only with their dogs. So it'd be Crypto versus Ace. That would be hilarious. And I'm also looking forward to this Super Pets thing that they got coming out with The Rock, Kevin Hart, Keanu Reeves, and all those people. Crazy, crazy stuff. The Flash fell downhill season 4, season 5. I agree. And I still don't hate The Flash. I love it still, but I still have my problems with it for sure. But I never have like regretted watching any episodes though. But it's definitely not the show it used to be. Again, they burned a lot of their storylines really early on. Is that Super Saiyan 4 Goku behind you on the shelf? It is. Oh, shit. Speaking of that, I think somebody did ask if that was a Master Chief helmet back there. It is. That is a Master Chief helmet back there. I think after watching your mother die, knowing she always dies, you receive respect you've wanting from your stepfather, and finally building a relationship with Thor. So a reply to Jean-Luc. Wonder why this... Oh, shit. Sorry, guys. Like, there's more chats than I can keep up with, it seems like, apparently. Because there's more messages I've missed. I'm so sorry if I've read over your message. I wonder why this Loki behaves more like his version from Thor Ragnarok. Did he forget he was invading Earth? Again, I think seeing his future, his life, and some of the decisions he's made in front of him inform him a little bit more. Again, Loki has always done things out of attention, out of empowering himself, making himself grander than he feels like he is. It's all, like he says, an act. And even when he was invading New York, it was all in that service. It was all in service of this idea, this image of himself that he wants to project or wants to achieve. So I think having that for one, the TVA humiliated him, made him powerless, made him face all of his life decisions and stuff that he's done from now and the ones that he will do. He like questions his character. That psychobabble can break you down, especially when you're analyzing it. So like, I think that the combination of seeing how things play out, how his own choices have affected other people, how he's perceived, and being here, being shown that he is powerless, that he is like the people he's claimed to be greater than, an ant in the greater spectrum of the universe. It was very humbling to him. And I think that helped a lot with breaking down his character and help getting him more in line with the Loki we kind of got to know on our own. Let's see, I've been kind of iffy on Legends this season. Not a fan of the characters beyond Sarah, Constantine, and Nate. The animated episode made me laugh, though. I agree with that. Mick. Mick is a character I have definitely grown to love throughout his run in the Arrowverse. Sorry, I'm mixed on. Bayrod, mixed on. They're just like very cheesy camp. I like Zari 1.0. I like Zari 1.0 a lot. I still don't like Zari 2.0. Bayrod is just comedy relief. He's just your average stoner. Honestly, I wouldn't even have Nate on my list either. I think Sarah, Constantine, and Mick are the characters I actually care about the most right now in the show. And I only care about Nate in the fact that he cares about Zari 1.0, like that storyline. You know, while I enjoy this season so far, it's just ridiculous as hell. Especially this last episode, which was my favorite, mostly because it was Constantine-centric and Astra-centric, which Constantine easily has become one of my favorite characters in the Arrowverse because of Matt Ryan. I enjoy that episode a lot. But yeah, I don't know. Legends is one of those shows that's just really hard to quantify why I enjoy it. It's just ridiculous, and I enjoy that about it. You think we'll see Melissa? The thing is, CW needs to fill up airtime and sell space. Ad space. Exactly. 22 mediocre episodes is more valuable to them than 13 quality episodes. Exactly. And that goes to because they're a free network. They're a free network. They have to justify, again, this might help them if they had more programs, which is another reason they've been picking up a lot of other shows. If they can fill time, they can get ad space. Because they make their money through ads and through selling their shows to streaming services, to streaming platforms. So, I mean, Riverdale did horrible on TV, but it had this huge, like, rise once it went to Netflix. And that became the strategy going forward. Like, they don't really care about how many people watch a show live as long as people are watching it once it goes to a streaming service. Or if they watch it online on their streaming app or their website for free, has ads, but it's free, yeah, the more episodes that they can air, the more money they're going to make. So it's this double-edged sword that they have to ride with. It's just the nature of the show, which is why they've been asking HBO now that to do co-financing on their shows to help them improve the shows overall. And I hope that goes through. I hope that HBO agrees to that and they come to terms on that. But I haven't heard an update on those talks since February, so I don't know where that's all gone. Do I like Daredevil Man Without Fear? I like the Daredevil show. As the only iteration of Daredevil I've actually liked. But I've also never read a Daredevil comic, so I can't really speak on that one. You think any of the Supergirl characters could show up in Superman and Lois, like Cara, Alex, or Martian Manhunter? Definitely could show up at some point. Again, it's not off the table. It is the same universe. Diggle is showing up. So we just have to see how it all ties in. Really, you don't like The Dark Knight Returns? It was awesome, especially part 2. I know a lot of people love it. I can't get into it. I'm sorry. The TVA won't get destroyed, in my opinion. Loki is leading up to Secret Wars. I don't think Loki is leading to Secret Wars at all. I don't see any hints that it's going to be going towards that. Could. It might. I don't know. I don't really know enough about it. But we'll see. Again, you don't like anything Dark Knight, but what do you think of Heath Ledger's portrayal of Joker? Okay. I think you might have misunderstood D360. The Dark Knight movies, I love. It's the Dark Knight Returns comic that I do not. The one written by Frank Miller that's in the future and deals with mutants, has what's her name? Carrie is Robin. And then the Joker mobster, these mutant people, he beats up Superman, blah, 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 blah. It's just so annoyingly angsty. Would you give the overall rating to the other 2 MCU shows? What would I give the overall rating to the other? For me, top tier Marvel. Couldn't be happier. I think Mephisto exists, but the fans, including me, jumped a little during WandaVision. 100% agree with you on that. I think we did a lot of that to ourselves. But me, I just have fun when I speculate. I just have fun when I think about theories. I don't get disappointed. Except when you cast Evan Peters as a joke. Because I, one, love Evan Peters and love his Quicksilver. And when they did that, I was not happy about that. I could give 2 shits about Mephisto not coming true, but that was the only thing in WandaVision that annoyed me. If I had to rate the shows in hindsight now, I'd give Falcon and the Winter Soldier an 8. I'd give WandaVision an 8. Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think, was better as a show, so like 8.5. I don't know. As far as Loki, I mean, we just got the first episode right now, so I'm not going to give it a ranking just yet. Do you think the TVA was affected by the snap? No. I don't think so at all. I think they're above and beyond the timeline. So, I mean, obviously, they've got shit tons of Infinity Stones, so I think they're completely unaffected by anything that happens in the timeline, in the time stream. The TVA may go down faster than S.H.I.E.L.D. if they are the only thing standing between us and the multiverse of madness. I think you're right on. That's where I'm leaning, man. What's my most anticipated Disney Plus show from all properties? Right now, that is on the docket, Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan is the one I'm looking forward to the most. 1 hour and 10 minutes later, finally checked 3 minutes before second postponed scheduled time, had to bump it, throws confetti. I'm so sorry, Canada Graphs, man. I'm sorry about that. YouTube can be a bitch sometimes. I think the variant Loki and Owen Wilson will learn that space lizards who created the TVA are preventing the multiverse, and they will take them down. I mean, Owen Wilson knows they're preventing the multiverse. That is literally the purpose of the TVA, is to prevent the multiverse from happening. So of course they know that's the case. Owen knows this. Loki has learned this. That was what the episode was about. the TVA collapses, then wouldn't that mean the multiverse would start diversifying from the point that the TVA was destroyed? Wouldn't that mean events from before this could not happen? Not necessarily. They're also, as we've seen, time machines apparently exist. Obviously, we had one in Endgame. They even made light that when they went to that Oklahoma place, looks like somebody's got their hands on a time machine. People can go back and create ripples in time. So, as we've seen with The Flash, and it might not be a one-to-one comparison, but any level of time travel or breaking the time stream whatsoever, no matter what point, if you use that as a theory, any interaction with the time stream creates like a ripple, so that any change can influence not just the present, future, but also ripple into the past for events that it didn't have any problem with. It's not I don't know. It's weird. It can be confusing, but that's how it's been portrayed in a lot of comics. I don't know if that's going to be the case they run with this, but we'll see, because we see them jumping throughout time and stopping variations that are happening in the past anyway. So if changes can still happen in the past, they can still happen in the past after they're gone, if that makes sense. We can imagine another version of yourself in the multiverse would be like. Probably has killed himself by this point. Not to be dark or whatever, but. Or just working in another call center. Who knows? Or a superstar. Who knows? One that actually took a lot more chances than I have. Who do you think the hooded character at the end of episode 1 of Loki could be? I'm thinking Lady Loki or Richard E. Grant character. I think it's Lady Loki. Have I watched Lucifer? Pretty late to it, but just started a few days ago and halfway through season 3 right now. I have not. There's a couple of shows that if time opens up that I'm thinking about doing, like while some of the shows that are airing right now are going on, like revisiting or visiting for the first time to fill some of that space. And I was thinking about doing a Lucifer reaction series at some point, which is another reason I haven't actually started it. Well, trust me, it was fun to see you react to Sweet Tooth. I rewatched it twice. Damn, really? All right, I need to make sure I'm slow, man. Loki is just misunderstood. He is. I feel like Keanu will play Dexter. It's a good possibility. I find when I move to a super chat, I lose my spot. So I just look at this timestamp of the last comment I did prior and try to remember to scroll back to that point. Fair enough. What do you think of the Batman Superman animated shows coming? We don't really know enough. I'm looking forward to them either way. I mean, fuck, what's his name? Shit, why can't I think of his name? Bruce Timm. I was gonna say Tim something, but yeah, Bruce Timm. I was like, my brain was fried for a second. Bruce Timm's involved, so I'm on board. I'm looking forward to that. The Superman animated show, that's just up in the air. I'm not too sure, but I'm looking forward to either, because I think a lot of the recent animated series have been really cool. It gets darker. So remember watching the original Flash TV show when it came out. Me too. I used to rent it a bunch from Hollywood Video, and just watch it, man. John Wesley Shipp, that Flash was the one, that was the first version of that character I ever really ran into. Which is like really emotional for me too, coming back to it, because when he passed off, we see the flashbacks of Tina and stuff as he went off into Crisis on Infinite Earths. I cried, man. I shared my reaction online, and John Wesley Shipp actually commented on it, and I was like, Sad thing is, there was a convention just up the road that I didn't know was happening because it was the first time they had done one, and John Wesley Shipp was there, and I missed it. I didn't know it happened, and he was here, and I missed it. Top 5 favorite Teen Titans Go characters. Robin, Starfire, Cyborg, Beast Boy, Raven. Yeah, Raven's my favorite No, Robin's my favorite. Raven's my second favorite. I'm just, even though I have like a strong bias towards Raven themed things, I love Robin. I love Robin too much. Do you think Sarah and Ava's relationship in the Arrowverse is the healthiest relationship we have gotten? Healthiest relationship. Honestly, I gotta say it's Superman and Lois right now. Clark and Lois. Have you seen how they deal with any confrontations? I think they are the healthiest family despite everything going on in the whole Arrowverse. Even when they have some problems. Nobody's keeping secrets from one another. At least the parents. At least between Lois and Clark. They tell each other everything the moment something happens. Let's see. Do you think they will start filming Loki season 2? I think in the summer. I don't know if they'll immediately go right into it, but we'll see. Are those the only characters in the show? I thought the same thing, Mocker, but I wasn't going to say it. Oh, thank you, Canada Graphs, for the super chat. 5CA. Hope some of those are in loonies. All right, gotta go. Enjoy the rest of the day in chat. Have a good one. Thank you, man. Thanks for stopping in, man. Now, calm down with your photos. They get out of hand on Twitter, and I can't avoid them. Nah, man, I respect the grind. I'm just kidding anyway. Let's see. Can I have a request for you? Can you show the full design? No. Do you think other characters... I hope Injustice 3 gets announced at E3. That would be cool. That would be cool. They announced a Injustice animated film coming out, so that's going to be really interesting. Do you think other characters could show up in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness like Loki, Deadpool, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield's Iron Man? I do. I think we'll see a lot of interesting glimpses. I think we'll see a little glimpse into a lot. While it might not be huge or lengthy, I think there's going to be a lot of glimpses or hints or references to a lot of things and people we may have seen before. Let's see, everyone. Buonasera, Omn1. What's up, Migo? I believe Loki will make the multiverse because they showed a multiverse being made in the TVA in the trailer. Did they? I'm gonna go back and watch that trailer again. I will be destroyed if No Way Home trailer comes out and we don't see. We're not gonna see them in the first trailer. If we get when the No Way Home trailer comes out, I would bet money we won't see any multiverse stuff in the trailer. WandaVision, 4 out of 10. God damn, man. What is with your judgment? I respect your opinion, but god damn, so low. Have you seen behind the scenes photos from Obi-Wan Kenobi? I have not. I'm trying to stay not spoiled, or trying to stay spoiler free for that. So I try to stay away from set photos as much as possible. Canada. Is the general consensus that Loki will lead directly or indirectly into Multiverse of Madness? I think that's what I'm leaning to right now. In my opinion, the TVA graphic they showed with Miss Minutes was setting the precedence for a Nexus event. Yep, it's coming. I think it's coming. So excited for Obi-Wan. Hello there. I can't wait. The cicada creeping on blinds was a false lead. Yeah, it definitely was. They did play with it. Like, they did leave a lot of hints in there, too. Our Lord and Savior. So it's not completely out of the realm of possibility that we had thought that. But they played with that a lot. They had to have known that we would run that precedent with it. Also knowing how linked he is with the storylines of Wanda and Vision and the kids. But yeah, so they had to have known. What would you like to see for season 8 of The Flash? more play with characters outside of the team. I would love to see, maybe with COVID restrictions coming down a little bit and vaccinations and whatnot, we might get to see more interplay between the shows. That's what I really want. I want the shows to feel more connected than they are right now. And I get that they had a crossover planned that left them with the Diggle thing being the only semblance of a crossover that we'll have this season. But I hope that with all that in place, like, we can start to see the shows feel more connected again moving forward. Question: I watched last episode of Flash. Have you watched? And I think it is an overall question. I watched the last episode of Flash. Have you watched? I think that it had too much funny stuff, and I'm overreacting. I don't think it had enough funny stuff. It's Cisco's goodbye episode. I mean, Cisco's a lighthearted character, and while it did have some sappy, like, goodbye feels to it that tugged at the heartstrings, I don't want to mope when I'm saying goodbye to Cisco. I think it was a good choice to make it a funny episode. I loved it, personally. I know a lot of people was like, it was the Flash jumping the shark, but I'm not on that boat, man. I'm not. Long Halloween Part 1 comes out soon. Can't wait. Might find a release version of both parts. Might wait to see if they release a version of both parts as one movie. They probably will, or to be a 2-pack. I mean, they did this. They did Death of Superman and Reign of the Superman, and didn't, I think they did a re-release where it's one big movie. So it's very open, or possible that they might do that with that. I'm looking forward to that, man. I'm really looking forward to Long Halloween. Must watch Lucifer! So we're doing Loki. It was great. Mobius, Loki, dialogue was blow for blow, but Owen can't be in all the shots. Who is going to be his wingman? That time cop lady? Maybe. I don't know, maybe. I really like that Casey dude, the desk worker. That guy was killing me. He was so funny. I would like for you to cover Kung Fu on CW if I'm interested. I thought about it. Again, I don't know if that show is big enough or enough of a gamble for me to do with how my workload is right now. But I have been curious when I see the trailers or the commercials when I'm watching the other shows, because I can't, since I watch some of the CW shows live, you know, I see the commercials for it all the time. So I will admit I have been interested in maybe taking a peek at it. I love Kung Fu stuff. I love martial arts stuff in general. So a show kind of centered around that kind of has my attention, but I just don't know if it would be worth the extraneous effort and stress of editing it and uploading it, if that makes sense. What's up, Russianese? I think the variant Loki will die in the end of the series. I think he will be inserted into the main MCU timeline. I think he'll run free. There's two possible outcomes for the show that I think might happen. I think either A, and it's the one I kind of feel like the show might do, is Loki finally accept the finality of death. And maybe this variant might die at the end. Because at the end of all of these shows, there's always an existential, big, heavy question that they tackle with it. You know, and what's that going to be for Loki? Is it just going to be setting up the multiverse, or is it just going to be a character exploration? And through that, what is the end game for that character? Becoming a hero? Is that really Loki? I don't know. But him coming about and maybe accepting with all these fake outs he's had, how these false deaths he's had over the years, I think this one might end with him coming to terms with him being ready to die. I think that would be a decent way to go. On the flip side of that, I think option B would be for him to take all of these lessons and bring them into the new MCU and see how it goes. Do you think we'll ever see Hawkgirl and Hawkman again from Legends? It's always on the table. I'll be honest, I always forget that they exist, because they've just been sidelined for so long. besides John West Ship, was your favorite time a subler interacted with you or a video of yours? Indirectly was probably when Mark Hamill shared a compilation where my reaction to his appearance in season 2 of The Mandalorian was included. Which one of those, because there was mixed reactions, he shared mixed reactions video and then a tribute video that Echo Base Network made of the fan reaction to Luke's appearance at the end of the show. And my reaction was included in both of those, and Mark Hamill retweeted that. Now, that's not directly targeted towards me, but I'm there. And I think that was the craziest thing that's happened. Other than that, I would have to say, like, John Wesley Shipp telling me that it's so endearing that I embrace my emotions and show them. Because I cried when he died in Crisis on Infinite Earths. Aside from that, I've had Cameron Johnson respond to a couple of tweets of mine. That's been cool. It's mostly been likes. I've had Kevin Smith, Mark Bernardin, both like some stuff I've put up. But yeah, I think the Mark Hamill thing was the heaviest thing for me. The one that hit me the most. I don't know. I actually cried when I saw John Wesley Shipp replied to my tweet. Ugh. How would you rate the 2 MCU projects out of 10? Already did that. 8 and 8.5 in order. Tara Strong does an excellent job voicing Raven. Tara Strong's just good in general and smoking hot. Just saying. I did not recognize her though with that southern accent when she was voicing Miss Minutes. I think the show sticks to its guns and Loki won't rejoin the main MCU. Like Loki said at the end of episode 1, I can't go back, can I? Like I said, I think the deep thing, the heavy thing, the hard-hitting thing would be for him to finally accept the finality of his existence. Canada don't blame me. I know he's probably already gone by now, but don't me calling him out on him posting all those set photos. I always post my stuff spoiler-free. It's others who post them. Fair. That is fair. You do keep them to yourselves. I can't blame you for them. But yeah, even I can't avoid them. No matter what I do, they always end up on my timeline. Because I know things that are coming in the Flash that I am really excited for, but I'm not going to ruin for any of you guys. I hope we see more stuff about Gotham Knights. I'm really not all that hyped for Gotham Knights personally, because for me, it echoes a lot of the same vibes that I got from the Avengers game that came out. It looks like it's very clunky, and it looks like it is going to be very loot heavy. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm really shaky on Gotham Knights. I'm not dismissive of it, but I don't know if I'm excited for it yet. Would you ship Cyborg with Jinx? Yeah, I would. I actually kind of like that pairing. I've seen it a couple of times. Especially after the animated show, which I still miss. I still miss the OG Teen Titans cartoon. It's just everyone knows Toby and Andrew will be in the movie would stop everyone harassing the actors. It would, but I still think there's not a 100% chance that those two are in the movies. Their villains, however, are, but I don't know if they will be. I'm still trying to not get my hopes up in the event that maybe they aren't able to land them. It's my favorite Star Wars movie trilogy. I can tell you which one it's not. And that's the sequels. Favorite trilogy. This is controversial. I know. But I'm going to go with the prequels. I grew up on the originals. I grew up on the OT. For sure. But there's just something about a shit ton of lightsabers that just makes me happy. I don't know. I just like... They're sappy, they're cheesy, they're gooey, they're not directed the best, they're not written the best, but I just enjoy watching them. They're not better movies than the OT, but I enjoy them more than the OT. Don't hate me. What's your favorite MCU movie? Mine is either Iron Man or Infinity War. Mine is... I'm always back and forth on this one, I'll be honest. I think Endgame. I know it's the second part of Infinity War, but it's the part of Infinity War that I enjoy watching more. I don't know. I just appreciate all the fangasm moments. Even if it might be a little lackluster in other ways. I think that's my point on it. What show are you looking forward to after Loki? Are we talking MCU or are we talking anything coming to Disney Plus? Gotta go watch Smallville for the first time later. Take care. Ooh, come back. Let me know how that goes. I was thinking about revisiting Smallville as maybe a series on the channel, because I haven't seen all of it. I've seen bits. I've maybe seen 20 episodes total out of all of the show. Loki quoting Scream was a little strange, but it was overshadowed by the "what's a fish" line. All right, I'm gonna cut you like a fish. Yeah. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Wait, hold on. Wasn't that Kate? That opening character, because it was Casey Tatum that was later in it, right? Oh god. Well, shit. Hold on. Be right back. I spilled my wine. All right, we're back. Made a bit of a mess, but we're good now. Where did we leave off? Sorry about that. What's your opinion on Lego Flash, starring James Arnold Taylor as the Flash and the Reverse Flash? There's a Lego Flash? I mean, I don't watch a lot of the... Unless it was in theaters, I haven't watched a lot of the Lego things. But I do like James Arnold Taylor. So I can't really speak on that one. Hold on. Missed a spot. Here. All right, there we go. Remember one time in The Flash where they had the rival in an episode for 5 minutes and you never saw him again? Waste of a cameo and a full Flash-like suit. I'd love for them to bring him back. It's possible. It's always possible to bring a character back. So, but yeah, he was just kind of used and just disappeared. Head off. Have a good day. Thanks for stopping in, Mocker. He was in the Flashpoint episode, by the way. Yeah, I remember him. Goofy outfit. Accurate outfit, but goofy. Unpopular opinion, I like the Avengers game. Not as good as the Insomniac Spider-Man games, but I still enjoy it. Respect. I love those Spider-Man games, though. Not to tout, and I actually didn't think I would have one by this point, but I finally got my hands on a PS5. And those games play buttery smooth on that thing, man. I'll be on tonight, like late tonight, playing the new Final Fantasy VII Remake expansion. So yeah, look forward to that. Hope some of you guys are able to make it. I have faith that WB Montreal won't publish up Gotham Knights due to the delay. Hope so. Yeah, isn't WB Games kind of like in this weird unknown right now with the whole selling of DC and Warner Brothers? I forgot about that. I saw a lot of question marks about the selling of WB and like WB Games getting like closed. So I hope those hope those studios don't close. Hope those games don't get canceled. Have we heard anything about that yet with the whole merger with Discovery? Respect your opinion, but I can't watch the prequels. They are better than the sequels, at least. I can respect that. I know there's plenty of people that feel like you do more than me. I want to like Batwoman, but at times it's hard. I haven't liked Javicia Leslie, Ryan Wilder. I thought it was a bad direction to take, that they should have just cast Wallace Day from day one. I agree with you on that one. I liked Ryan a lot in her introductory episodes. I liked her in like the first 5 episodes. From there up until episode 12, I found every episode and most of her exchanges so grating. After episode 12, though, because it was all forced drama, there was a lot of forced drama in the narrative, like her conflicted with Sophie, her conflicted with Luke, her conflicted nature with fucking everybody. Like she started off like, yeah, I was won over by her, and I was like, okay, maybe they can do this. Also, I really hated the whole Coriana plot with Sophia, the Desert Rose, all of that. I did not give 2 shits about that storyline, especially when there was zero payoff for it. It ended up not going anywhere, and they wasted the whole Thomas Elliot pretending to be Bruce thing. They just wrapped that up super quick. Thankfully, Warren Christie did come back for this latest episode, so it's not like a completely wasted casting. And I actually kind of like him as Bruce, so it's pretty cool. I don't know. These last 2 episodes, ever since the Clue Master episode, I've actually kind of given a shit about the show again. So we'll just have to see. especially when Kate Kane came back on the scene and whooped everybody's ass. So I'm hoping they stick the landing on this one and especially with Luke becoming Batwing and that suit looking as good as it does. I really hope that they don't. I really hope they could like right this ship. You know, I don't ever hope for a show to fail. Like I love DC. I don't like everything they do, but I always hope for the better. Like I don't like Titans, like the live action series that was on DCEU. But I'm still going to watch season 3 just because I hope it gets better. So we'll see. I'll stick it through, but there might come a day when I don't react to it. Let's just prepare for that. Because we were almost there. There was almost an episode there in the middle before that Clue Master thing, before Stephanie Brown, where I was like, I don't know if I could keep reacting to this each week. I'm like losing my mind. Casey Becker was Drew Barrymore. That was it. Tatum. It was Tatum. Tatum Riley. Yeah, I had that pulled up. Tatum Riley was the later character. Yeah, Casey Becker. Yeah, okay. I love Scream. That's my favorite horror series. Favorite horror movies, Halloween, though. I say the prequel trilogy has some of the best moments in the best movies. Episode 3, obviously, but the OG trilogy is better overall. Agreed. Like I said, I didn't say the prequel trilogy is better. I enjoy watching it more than I enjoy watching the OT. But the OT is a much better series of movies. Better made, better performed, and much more coherent movie to movie. Better trilogy. I just enjoy watching it more. Like for me, I like watching things that are fun to watch. Doesn't always make it good. Doesn't always mean I think it's good. But the way my brain works, anything that is remotely serious or takes like a darker turn or is something you have to pay attention to or think about, it can bring my personal mood down. Even if I like it, even if I thought it was amazing, it can make me not feel great emotionally for the rest of the day. So that's why I watch the campy shit a lot. And I do enjoy them. Like outside of that, Revenge of the Sith is my favorite Star Wars film. It's not the best, but it's my favorite. It's got some of my favorite moments in the entire saga, but that's just how my brain works. If I had a favorite villain in Teen Titans Go, it'd be Rose Wilson. I haven't watched much Teen Titans Go. I've seen Teen Titans Go to the movie, and I thought that was hilarious. But I really have not watched Teen Titans Go. I don't really plan to all that much. What's your thoughts on Cloak and Dagger, The 100, The Gifted, if I've watched these shows in the past? I haven't watched any of them at all. So I'm sorry. I don't have an opinion. Yeah, I spilt my wine. I know I'm behind again. Sacrilege. Shame, shame. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. This is how much I'm left with now. It was all over my desk. Thankfully, it didn't get on anything important. Like my keyboard or my Stream Deck or my fucking preamp. That would have been bad. Or my PS5. That would have been even worse. Because at least I could replace those other things, even if it's costly. Getting a PS5 is like luck right now. Do I like gay Flash? I mean, I don't know what you talk. I don't know what you're referring to. Man, it feels good to have a fellow nerd who watches all the shows I watch to chat on the internet. I know, like that's one of the things too. A lot of my friends don't really watch any of this stuff anymore. I just like, I don't know. I'm one of those people that is more connected to fiction than I am the world around me. And that's not healthy, but it's just how I am. I love it. I live through these characters, man. It's not the right way to live life, but it's what I do. Is there really a right way to live life if you're happy? I don't know. So you don't think the 5-episode event will be a current Arrowverse heroes? I don't think all of them will be. I think some of them will, but I also think that they might introduce some new blood. That's at least my hope. Because I think the Arrowverse needs new blood right now. Like, strong blood. Not like Allegra or these side characters that are just footnotes in the DC greater stuff. I'd like to see them introduce some characters that we would recognize. Because that's what they need right now. They don't need like C-list, D-list characters. They're losing their A-list right now, and they need more people closer to that introduced in the series. But I'm glad that people like Cress Williams and especially Melissa Benoist are all open on coming back, even though their respective shows are ending. Which at least will help the universe not feel small, even though their shows are gone. My opinion, I think Andrew Garfield was one of the most comic accurate Spider-Man, but the movies just did him dirty. Yeah, I feel the same way. I think he was a good casting, a good choice. I don't think my problem with his characterization was that he was too cool to be Peter. I don't know. He was too cool. He also had to YouTube how magnets work. I don't know. There's some weird decisions in there with the writing and stuff. But I did like him. I liked him in overall as the character. I just didn't like anything else around him. My favorite thing about the first two movies was him and Gwen Stacy. I didn't like how they handled Green Goblin. I don't like how they handled Electro. The Lizard is my favorite Spider-Man villain, and I didn't like how they handled that because I didn't like the look, for one. And I was excited when they announced that the Lizard was going to be the main villain of Amazing Spider-Man, and then that's how it kind of turned out. I was like, disappointed with it. There's so many memes from those movies too. It's kind of funny. In my opinion, I already read that one. What's up, Aaron Renee? Howdy, welcome. If they introduced the real Bruce Wayne on Batwoman, how would you want them to do it? I don't know. If he went off and maybe was lost to the multiverse, or was off doing something that demanded his permanent attention. I think that would... They just need a way to justify it, not just Batman hung up his cape because he got sad. I just hope it's anything but that. Alice is my favorite character on Batwoman. She was, especially in season 1, she was my favorite character. Rachel Scarsden is fantastic in this role. And she's a DC alum herself. She played many years back. And she was in the 2002 Birds of Prey TV series. So it was nice seeing her come back into the DC family. But I think they does a fantastic job on there. The Coriana thing, and a lot of the changes they made to her character's background in season 2 lessened the character a little bit for me. My second favorite all the way through has always been Luke. And this season alone has really made him bump up. And I think he's my favorite character right now. I gave up on Batwoman after 2 episodes. Just couldn't do it. I thought the first 2 episodes were actually really good. I wish they stuck with Tommy plot longer because Warren Christie did a great job. I agree. I agree with that. The one show DC's nailed is Doom Patrol. Every episode is gold. Yeah. I think up until... I would say, even though Arrow is my favorite DC TV show, that despite that, I think Doom Patrol, and arguably right now, we can't say for sure because it hasn't ended yet. Superman and Lois might be up there, but that aside, since it's not over yet, its first season hasn't come to a close yet, Doom Patrol, for me, has been the best show they've made. I don't like Titans either, but Dick Grayson on the show is pretty good. I think the casting of Dick Grayson was really good. The characterization of Dick Grayson and the structuring of his arc, which is not one, It is more like the twisty twirly loopy loo thing at the theme park. He just that's his arc in Titans season 1 and season 2. It's fucking everywhere. The suits are the best thing that show does. The costumes. Second best thing has been the castings. But the writing, the budget, the CGI is straight trash. Love Stephanie Brown's character so much more than Ryan Wilder. I really hope Kate becomes Batwoman again, and her Luke and Stephanie become a team. They're not getting rid of Ryan, though. They've already said that Ryan will stay Batwoman. So I think Kate might come on, and maybe if they don't write her off, I think the only other thing they could do is have her play the mentor role. Maybe be the Bruce Wayne to her Terry McGinnis kind of thing. Because we've seen many times Ryan is still a rookie. And Kate whooped both her ass and Alice's ass at the same time when she thought she was Cersei. When she first came back onto the scene with that mask, she whooped both her asses. So I'd really like to see her in a mentor role. I just hope they don't write her off. She's a fucking paragon. How do you bench a paragon? I know it's not their fault. This whole drama between the CW, the showrunners, and Ruby Rose, none of it's really anybody's fault. It's all of their faults, really. But they didn't plan for this, but they really shot themselves in the foot, I think, by one, having a paragon be written off in the way that they did. And if they write her off completely, setting a character up to be a paragon of the creation of this new world, this icon to live in this world and be part of their Justice League, to just write them off is super bullshit. And I hope they don't do that. Ryan can stay. I don't want Ryan to leave. I like Ryan. I'd like to see her grow. But maybe if she became, if Kate became a different character or a mentor or something, she's got to stay. She's got to stay around for me. In my opinion, if she's a paragon of the world, getting rid of her is stupid. If she retires, that's stupid. If you pick, sorry, I actually skipped there. What place do you think Terry Silver will be in when we see him in season 4? Probably somewhere not in the U.S. Still rich. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. We don't really have enough information to really guess. But I would imagine he still has lots of power. I would also imagine that he's probably shifted away from operating in the U.S. with all of his nuclear waste dumping. If you had to pick one guess on who Edge is from Superman and Lois, who would it be? Well, my initial thought was Zod, but that doesn't make sense. So I've had a couple people, and there was actually a character that I forgot about from the New 52 until some people pointed out. Is it Hell? It's H-E-L. He's Clark's adopted brother who tries to bring back the Kryptonian race. He says brother. Maybe he's Hell. His emblem isn't Zod's. I can tell you that on his chest. So it does kind of look like a crooked House of L kind of emblem. So I don't know. That might make sense. I think that makes the most sense, but I don't know. I like it. I don't know the New 52 as much as I know a lot of past stuff. So that's one of the reasons that kind of slipped my mind watching the show. He also looks nothing like the character from the comics, so that's another reason. Once I looked the character up, I was like, oh, I've seen that guy before. Didn't remember his name or anything like that, but I was like, yeah, I don't know. Are you going to play a game? Not, like I said, not right now. I'll be playing Final Fantasy later tonight. It's my favorite Spider-Man. If we're talking live action, it's Tom Holland. I think he's the most, aside from the Ben stuff and the Tony Stark stuff, I'm talking purely as the characterization of the character. I think he's the closest we've been to a comic accurate Spider-Man when it comes to the personality and the aura of the character. And that's why I'm so drawn to that character. Which also makes me really excited if we ever get there to see what his Spider-Man is like as an adult. Talking his favorite Spider-Man, period, it's probably the PlayStation 4 version, to be honest. San Diego Comic-Con at home is late July, so we might have something about the Flash special event. Also, DC Fandom is it's in August or October, I don't remember. DC Fandom's this year. Fuck it. We got that coming up, and I'm really looking forward to that. So I definitely think we'll get some more news there. But I do think Comic-Con is always a good place for them to dump their stuff. Though, with the fact that they have DC Fandom now, they very well could skip Comic-Con. They skipped Comic-Con last year, so... but then again, Comic-Con didn't have a virtual event last year at all. They actually have one this year. Or am I remembering that wrong at all? I don't know. Whatever. I think we'll get the most information at DC Fandom. I think Andrew was a good Spider-Man, not a good Peter Parker. Yes, I think that's the best description of that. I agree with that. The weird decision in Amazing were primarily the need to be different from the Raimi movies. I can also agree with that. They try to be more gritty and more edgy, which was kind of the thing at the time. How's my day? Oh, thank you, Tech Rain. That's pretty good. I spilled my wine all over my desk, but I cleaned that up. It's fine now. Got a raccoon who's being a little shithead, quite literally, on my deck back here. Had to clean up yet another night's full of leavings. Fucking bastard. Do you think Bruce leaving could relate to the Demon's Head? Or would that complicate too much since we have Arrow-related content? I think it would complicate things too much. Because how long has he been gone? I think it's 5 years total now. Which would have been... That might line up when Roz was seeking out Oliver. Like, if Bruce was gone, he couldn't find Bruce. Maybe his next best get was Oliver Queen. I don't know. You pose a good question that I don't have an answer right now for. I'm tired of waiting for news on Avatar Studios. When do you think we'll get some info on that? Dude, I have no idea. I'm excited, but I'm really hyped for what we see from them. I'm really excited for what this animated movie is going to be that they're making, and these series, these comics, these books. I'm really looking forward to Avatar Studios pumping out a shit ton of Avatar content. I would love for some of it to still focus on the OG gang, but I'd really like to see maybe some newer stories like in the past with avatars maybe we haven't heard about. Maybe an animated version of the Kyoshi novels, or maybe the novels about Koruk, or bring that animated show about him and his spirit slaying and stuff that he was doing. I think there's a lot of really cool things that they could do. I don't know. I will say that I like Korra. I like Legends of Korra. The thing about Legends of Korra that I don't like at all is the fact that she's severed the Avatar's link completely to all of the past Avatars. I think that was the stupidest thing they could have done. While I understand what they did and why they did it is to make it a fresh start and make it all about her. I thought that was one of the coolest elements of the old show, is Aang being able to commune with his past selves. Like having that link all the way back to Wan. And that all being gone, it's just so annoying. All right. And we're out. They wouldn't cast Wallace Day if they didn't want to keep Kate Kane, in my opinion. That's what I'm hoping, man, but they're also fucking stupid over there sometimes, so we'll see. Yeah, Hell is definitely Morgan, like something that John gave to Sam in the second episode. Good point. Cal Hell on the tag. Wholeheartedly. You're right. You're right. I didn't think about that. I didn't think about the connection to that. I wholeheartedly agree. I love Toby, and Andrew's performance as Tom is the best Spidey Peter, in my opinion. Let's make this a 24-hour stream. I can't. I have things I do have to go out and do. Namely, some of which have to do with getting rid of this fucking raccoon. Anyway, can we see the Master Chief helmet behind you? Sure. Hopefully you don't knock over a bunch of shit. I mean, it's the old one that you could get whenever you if you got the old Halo 3 collector's edition. You can't wear it, sadly, but it just kind of comes off this stand. Biggest complaint, can't wear. You deserve more subs. Keep the good work. Oh, thank you, Lionel. Hey, Philly Vane, what's up? Yeah, I'd love some adult gang. Oh, I see what you did there. And some post Legend of Korra, but there's like thousands of avatars to look at. I think Karuk would be a fun one, especially if what we learned about him in like some of the Kyoshi stuff, like where the whole like go with the flow thing was just like his projection to the world. That's what kind of like the world thought of him, but he was really like secretly keeping the world at bay from like Armageddon, but didn't take any credit for it. And plus you could have the whole thing with him, his love interest that got taken by Ko. There's a lot of cool things you could do there. Plus he looks cool. I think the Water Tribe get up is always a cool aesthetic. I don't think Bruce will ever return to the show until the final season, especially if Bruce comes back. It wouldn't make sense to cover Kate and Ryan. Make Batman just a side character. I mean, again, having... It wouldn't have the age lineup, but I mean, you could have him mentor. It's like, yeah, you guys already got this. And he comes back and he mentors or something like that. You could always do that. Or he can go off and do something else. Off into the multiverse and do something more important. I don't know. There's ways you could do it by having them answer the question. I just hope it's a good fucking answer and not just Batman went off to be a little crybaby bitch. Because that is when you would disrespect the character, because they have not done that yet. This show has not disrespected Bruce Wayne, Batman, his legacy, or anything. And so if they get to that point and that's an answer we get, there you go, you did it. I don't know what happened to the Flash. I don't like this graphic novel approach. The Forces storyline wasn't good. I'm hoping for Godspeed part is great. Looking forward to Barton. The idea of the graphic novel thing is so that you don't have 24 episodes devoted to a singular big bad. So the idea is to have these mini stories per season. They just started doing this not too long ago. I think it worked with the Bloodwork stuff, but then it kind of fell off with the whole mirror thing. I think the Forces stuff worked for the most part, but they also had to spend a chunk of the season correcting things and finishing things that were supposed to be done last season, but COVID happened. So I don't know if it's like a fair judge of this whole graphic novel thing. Plus the filming constraints that they're under right now probably don't play a good part in it. So I think a fair judge of it is going to be this next upcoming section of the season and see how that goes. But the idea is like what we've all been saying is that a lot of their stories suffer from being dragged out for 20 some episodes, but instead this graphic novel approach is meant to take a story and crunch it down to only 8 episodes. So if they do that right, could work. Just not to perfection just yet. I'm holding out hope. Like I've said before, I always hope that they get better. I don't want them to fail. I don't want them to get canceled or anything like that. And that goes the way with Titans. I don't want it to get canceled, even though I don't like it right now. I just hope season 3 is better. Same with Batwoman. I saw the trailer. The trailer I thought was awful, and it was disrespectful and it was stupid. And I decided because it was DC, gave it a chance, watched it. I was like, sometimes the trailers do not speak for what the show really is. So I watched it and it was nothing like the trailer. And I enjoyed it. And I stuck around and just hoped for it to get better. It's had some rocky spots. It's been forced to reboot itself at the beginning of its second season. It's just got a long hill. And like I've said in a couple of comments that I've gotten a little heated about, the show's had ever since that trailer came out, there's channels that have dedicated their lives to reporting any negative news that they can to spin a narrative against the show and use the ratings against the show, even though people who watch this stuff and know the CW know that the ratings for these shows do not matter because it all depends on their streaming numbers, their app, and then how it performs on Netflix or HBO Max, which Batwoman goes to HBO Max, not like with the other shows, they go to Netflix. So if they greenlight it for a third season, it's probably because it's not doing as poorly as the ratings hint at. And a lot of people that complained about it and spread this narrative, I got these people in my comments all the time who are just like, well, I can't believe this show's still on. I can't believe, you must have no brain cells if you're watching this show. Like, I get comments like that almost every video. Just like, how is somebody watching this trash? And we've probably never watched the show once in their fucking lives. And are just going off of these channels that literally have said, and I don't like, I know I keep talking about Batwoman. I don't like talking about Batwoman, but it gives me money. They have said this in some of their videos because people love to hate things. And it's a specific crowd and is a big crowd that has become even more loud in the past couple of years. And they're ignorant, they're stupid, and I'm sorry if you're one of them. The show's not great. It is not trash. There are worse shows out there that are still going, that have gone for many seasons. People just want to die on a hill for something. And word of mouth kills a show too. Like, you wonder why the views are down compared to any of the other CW shows. And it's not my favorite CW show. It's not my least favorite CW show. It's not my least favorite DC show, but is far from anywhere in my top 5. But like, it's just stupid. Like, it is a false narrative that is being backed and used by people who have their own agenda to discount things in media. One being representation. They really don't like that. And that's one of the biggest narratives, is this push against this show. There is an active campaign to hate this show. Remember when the trailer came out? There was a huge campaign when the show aired of review bombs on Rotten Tomatoes, and some of those people still comment on videos, literally seek out people watching the show. I've seen it on my channel, Blind Wave, other channels that watch this show. Married to the Real, people will just show up on those channels if you just scroll through the comments just to shit on anybody watching it. Like, who's sad enough in their life to literally spend their time seeking it out to bitch just because some people do happen to like a show? Sorry. Tangent. It's fucking stupid. Well, I'm back. Still drunk, but hey, couldn't miss this. Well, welcome back. I spilled a chunk of my wine, so I'm not as buzzed as I probably could have been. Then again, I did eat before this, so to try to stave off any of this, I do have to go out and about here in a little while. Wallace Day is confirmed she's in season 3, I think. I hope so then. That would be dope. Yeah, Cara Book 2 sequel trilogy, the Avatar universe. If they continue Cora's story, that'd be pretty interesting. I'd like to see maybe the Avatar after Cara would be cool. Though, again, like, it comes back to the whole Avatar Link thing. That Avatar will only be able to talk to Cara. Which, I still think that was stupid. What's your favorite fast food restaurant? And who wins the chicken sandwich wars? For both answers, for me, are Chick-fil-A. My favorite fast food restaurant is probably... What sucks for me is, like, all of them around here, there's a lot of laziness that goes on, and the food, no matter where I go, is always bad. At least locally. I have to go into the city to actually get anything half decent. I would say if I went to a decent version of this place that took care of their food, I would have to say McDonald's. Just because their fries are one of my favorite things in the world when they're cooked properly. Out of the chicken sandwiches, there's a lot of the big hitters that I've never tasted. I have not tasted the Popeyes chicken. I haven't tasted a lot of places. There are a lot of places that I don't even have chains of here. I definitely don't like the KFC one. But so I'm going to have to default to Chick-fil-A only because I don't really have any other good options. Because we don't have Popeyes around here. So I can't speak for that one. Just showed up. Are we thinking Morgan Edge is Zod or someone who gave himself powers? I think he's Hell. Look up H apostrophe EL. Look that guy up. That's who a lot of us think that guy is. What do you think Kate becoming Arkham Knight? I think that would I honestly think that would be stupid. I'm still kind of salty about the Arkham Knight character in general because they said this was a brand new character to the DC mythology, to the Bat family. And then the reveal was that it was just Jason Todd with a different name. And I was mad. It was like they just lied to us the entire time. I was walking through the game. I was like, this whole game, like every story revelation throughout the game is like, wait a minute. There's a lot of Jason Todd stuff being hinted at. It's Arkham Knight Jason Todd. Why the fuck is he just not Red Hood? They created Arkham Knight just so they could hide a twist that we already knew about. It was so stupid. I'm sorry. The suit was cool. The idea was cool. The reveal was a huge disappointment to me. Crocodile. See you later, man. Thank you for stopping in. Yeah, I think Eric Wallace pulls out the big guns for season 8. Excited for a 5-episode event. I hope so, man. I think the show really needs it. I don't think it will end with season 8, but it very well could end with season 8, but we'll see. Yeah, maybe on Batwoman, Jason's death and Barbara getting paralyzed made Batman retire and just couldn't deal with it anymore. That's kind of what we saw. Now, this isn't the truth, but we saw Bruce talking to Luke in Luke's subconscious. And Luke's interpretation of why Batman left is because he couldn't take all the tragedy that had happened and the fact that they haven't been able to change Gotham. Now, that's not Bruce's truth because we don't actually hear from the real Bruce, because that version of Bruce even says, I'm just created from your subconscious. So that's just what Luke believes. Luke believes that Batman gave up because he had lost so much. He had lost people in his lives, and his crusade has not been proving fruitful. It hasn't changed Gotham. It's saved lives, but it hasn't stopped the crimes from happening. Meaning the fight is eternal, the fight is endless. So, like, I like that existential idea to it. Obviously, it's not the answer, but I just hope that we learn it's something other than that, for me personally. On Arrow, who are your top 5 characters? On Arrow? On Arrow specifically, Oliver at the top, Diggle, Roy Harper, Speedy, Sophia, and Deathstroke. Deathstroke above Speedy. Deathstroke above Speedy. Season 2 has been better than Season 1. Pretty enjoyable. See, I still like Season 1 most because it's at least not all over the place. This Coriana arc really hampered my enjoyment of Season 2 for a little bit. Because I was enjoying, like I said, the first couple of episodes, but the moment we started going to Coriana and exploring the Sophia stuff, I got really turned off by a lot of it because it was just really circular logic. And really, it didn't move our plot anywhere in the grand scheme of things. If it had been Black Mask from the get-go and not this Coriana stuff, that might have been a different story to me. Thank you for bringing up the ratings numbers because a lot of people watch it the next day. Most people, I'll say, most people our age, 20s to 30s, don't have cable, guys. Most people watch it on the internet, via streaming services, or an app. I only recently got cable for the first time in 10 years just so I could put these videos out faster for you guys for no other reason. I was more than happy to watch it next day on the internet for free in better quality without commercials. And that's what the majority of people that watch these shows do. Even The Flash, which has still over 1 million viewer ratings, most of its viewership is on the app or on streaming. There's also a lot of people that just wait for it to be the season to be over and watch it on Netflix, like with Riverdale. The ratings do not determine the livelihood of the show anymore. Those days are long gone. And people that are using that as proof are only using it to push a narrative and their agenda. Have you heard Eddie might come back as Cobalt Blue? I have. That's also been... I've heard that rumor all the way back to when he died, actually. Like, it's been a long time, but I've always heard that people thought he might come back as Cobalt Blue. And there's a high chance he might, either in this season or next season. I think it'd be cool. I really liked his actor. Just want to say thanks for making these reaction videos and engaging with your viewers in the comments. I only have like 3 friends that watch the Arrowverse, so it's... Aw, I appreciate that. Out of all my like in-person friends, I'm the only person that watches these shows anymore. A lot of people like kind of fell off the wagon on most pop culture related things. My best friend focuses on his marriage, his life, his family, all that jazz. And well, I could be doing the same thing. I still get way too much enjoyment from this shit, man. I love fantasy more than I like real life in general. Which, again, like I said, probably not the most healthy aspect, but that's just how my brain works. I'm most comfortable with around people that aren't real. Oh, shit. Yeah, bro, thanks for reacting to everyone. You're one of the goats. I appreciate that. Who's winning, Dr. Manhattan or Superman? Dr. Manhattan. Dr. Manhattan could beat Superman. Only because he can alter reality and make Superman not exist. He could become kryptonite. He can become a red sun. He can become anything. Sucks. Yeah, Netflix numbers are the only reason Riverdale is still on. Yes, exactly. That is the only thing that saved Riverdale. It would have been canceled after 1 season. They were going to cancel it. Is She-Hulk the next Marvel show? And in who do you think the villain is? See, I don't know what the villain aspect of the show is going to be, because they said it's going to be a 30-minute, like, courtroom procedural with superheroes. It's a comedy drama. So, like, I don't know how you form a narrative around that. I don't know. That's the one I'm the most interested in out of the Marvel shows coming up, because it sounds really interesting. I like that idea, but I don't know. I don't have any clue. We know that Tim Roth is coming back, so we know Abomination's in it, but is he the big bad or just on for an episode? I don't know. Don't know. Don't want to spoil it, but they already announced one villain that will be in She-Hulk. Well, shit, Calla, fuck. I just said it. Am I going to react to the new Rockstar's breakdown of Loki end credits? I don't know. I might. If I have time, I will, but I don't know if I'll be able to or not. Hope you're not drinking and driving. I am not. I've got nothing. I don't feel anything right now. Like I said, I ate a pretty carby meal before even having that little bit. And I'm hydrating. Don't worry. I don't do anything reckless like that, man. Appreciate the concern for safety, though. And it's another reason I stopped really sipping it a little while ago. So hopefully have it all kind of phase out after a hot minute. Ezra Miller, Flash suit, or Grant Gustin? I'm sorry. I like all of the... I love all of, even the worst of them. I love all of the CW Flash costumes more than I like Ezra Miller's suit. What do you think about Hayden Christensen appearing as a Force ghost Anakin in the Ahsoka show? I don't want, as much as I want that for Ahsoka and Anakin to get their own closure together, I don't think it should happen. Well, no, it's after a lot of that stuff, so it could happen now since it's after the original trilogy and all of that. I would like it, because I do think Ahsoka deserves that closure. I just don't know if it's something to expect. So I don't know.
Cheers.
But I'm excited for more Hayden Christensen in general. The fact that they announced him as part of the cast in the Obi-Wan show has me giddy and excited. He's, again, like, the fan base can be great, but the fan bases for a lot of these things can also be super terrible. Which also goes back, because I want to talk about the Batwoman thing one more time. Another thing that hurts not just Batwoman with the CW is the DCEU elitists. Like, I love everything DC. I'm not, like, I want to restore the Snyderverse, but I also don't want to end what is coming or what exists. Because I like one thing doesn't mean I have to hate another thing. And there's an entire loud sect on all social media platforms that are, if you like anything outside of the DCEU, it's trash. They clown on the CW shows, they clown on Titans, they clown on everything that is not the DCEU or not Snyder. And again, it's another thing, another group pushing an agenda that is just loud. I don't even think there's a lot of people that feel that way. It's just loud. But there are a lot of normies that hear those same things. They share like the worst clips from each show, and those get retweeted and retweeted out the ass, like that one clip of Martian Manhunter and Supergirl. And then that's what people think of, and then it turns them away from the show. It's shit like that that hurts anything. And I was like, I'm just like, if you're a DC fan, just why are you just a DC fan? There's a multiverse for a reason, because there are shows for everyone to enjoy. You like one version but not another one, yours is still out there. Don't clown on somebody for liking something. It's fucking stupid. I'm sorry. It pisses me off. Kind of dirty. Disney is basically doing Loki's character arc all over again for money. Yeah, but with a purpose. There's a greater purpose to it. There's a more exploration of his character, and we're setting up the multiverse and all that. So I think there's a greater purpose for it. It's not, yeah, we're kind of retreading some of his character growth, but I think we're also diving deeper into it. Like, I think what we got in the films themselves was a little surface level. So I do think that we're diving into a lot deeper version of that this time around. There you go. Is the female villain I was talking about. Then I have no idea who's going to be in, who you're talking about that's going to be in She-Hulk. Can't wait for Une Cannabis. Untitled Cannabis? What? I don't know. I have no idea what you said, Sonic. Do you watch Stranger Things? I have not. I haven't watched Stranger Things whatsoever. What was my favorite Grant Gustin Flash suit? Probably this one. I think the current one is probably my favorite. This one or the last one? Yeah, I'll never forget what Star Wars fandom did to Jake Lloyd. Yeah, and they did it to Hayden Christensen. They almost got on my best to kill himself. If he didn't have his kid, he probably would have. Having him talk about what it was like post-prequel trilogy, from just walking down the street from people, ostracizing him just because he played Jar Jar, telling him to kill himself, and he almost did. And then I don't like the sequels, but if you're upset about them, you don't attack the actors or actresses of these films. They have no power. They had no power in the decisions made. Why do you go after the actors and actresses? Same for Ahmed Best, Jake Lloyd, anything. If you have problems with this stuff, take it to the people making the decisions. Now, don't threaten them. Voice your opinion, but don't attack people. That's fucking stupid and inhumane and just bullshit. And it's also cowardly. It's just so disrespectful and stupid. Like, this, what happened to Kelly Marie Tran? The racist shit that happened towards John Boyega when he just was cast before the movie even came out was disgusting. Listen, again, I don't like the sequels. Or where they went, the decisions they made. There's things I enjoy. Overall, I don't think I'll ever watch them again. But it's taking it out on the actors, the people that just showed up and did their thing, is just cruel and unnecessary. And I say happy birthday to my friend Jack Meow. How dare you, Ahmed? And I'm dumb enough to have just read that. Do you think Loki could show up in Thor: Love and Thunder? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think this Loki will interact with the future of the MCU. Am I excited to see Natalie Portman back as Jane? I swear I never thought she would actually come back. She was very negative about her experiences with those films, so I was shocked to actually hear when she was announced to be coming back as Jane in Thor: Love and Thunder. But I'm excited to see what they do with it. I think the multiverse is real, but the TVA is lying about it. I don't know. It may have been at one point, but I don't know. If they're lying about it, then what are they doing? If it is not happening currently, it doesn't make sense. Like, they're pointless. What do they do? They're doing nothing. See, I kind of liked my analogy to it when there was this great multiverse before, this great multiversal war. I liked what I said about it. Now, I don't know if this is actually what they were going for, but like, you know, before Disney bought up all of the Marvel rights, or not all of them, but most of them, how they were all owned by separate studios, and there was obviously those studios were using their own Marvel properties to war with each other for viability on the films, on cinema, for box office. They were all in competition with each other. What if the war is like this meta commentary on how the Marvel IPs were spread off between all these different studios, and they were all competing and battling for supremacy, just for Disney to come in and buy most of them and get deals with the other ones to combine them into one house? What if, like, the metaphor of the sacred time stream is a metaphor for Disney's acquisition of the Marvel IP, and then the TVA dismantling or being destroyed, or whatever happens to the end of the show, or whatever Wanda does to completely overwhelm the TVA, bringing the multiverse back, just kind of allows them to embrace all of that creativity. The multiverse doesn't exist, then how is the existence of the Raimi trilogy and the Spider-Man movies explained? Like I said, I think whatever happens, it just brings them back. Like, they splinter off and become their own realities again. I think all of these other timelines are being prevented from being born at this point. But there's also always a possibility for them to crackle out into existence again if the right decisions or conditions are met. So if whatever Wanda does, I think will bring back those realities, which is another reason why some of them are a little different. Electro, as we know, is confirmed to not be exactly a one-to-one version of the one we got in the movie. We know the version of Doc Ock is the version of him just before he dies. Like, he still dies, but he comes back there. So there's time, there's shenanigans, there's multiverse crap. I think it's just going to be interesting to see how they explain it. Multiverse. Do you think White Vision will be in Black Panther 2? I don't know. I mean, unless he was lying, Paul Bettany said he currently has no Marvel contract at all right now, which sucks because I think he's great, and I hope they bring him back. I hope that's not a bad sign. I've seen some people thinking that Spider-Man No Way Home isn't a multiverse movie. Some of them are going to be so wrong and clown about it. See, I don't know how they can be wrong about it or even think that. Alfred Molina himself said he is the same Doc Ock that he was in Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire. He said it. out of his mouth that he is the exact same version of that character from that movie. Jamie Foxx hasn't said anything. They haven't confirmed that he is the one from The Amazing Spider-Man. It's just very assumed. Alfred Molina outright said he is the same Doc Ock from the end of Spider-Man 2. So, unless he's lying, which I don't see the point because he said they're de-aging him to look exactly like he did at the end of that movie. I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. What is 2 superhero movies you are hoping they make? One for DC, one for Marvel. DC movie that I hope they make eventually at some day is a Man of Steel fucking 2 with Henry Cavill. In spite of that, well, they already announced it. I was hoping for a Static Shock movie, and we're getting a Static Shock movie, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm not sure. A Death in the Family would be cool, or like Under the Red Hood, like a Jason Todd adaptation would be a lot. In live action would be really cool. I got suckered into those toxic YouTube channels a while back. Escaped when I realized their agenda has nothing to do with geek culture we love. Yeah, there's a couple that come immediately to mind to me. And some of them I watched just out of my own, like, distaste. Like, I just wanted to hear what they were saying, which in and of itself is just giving them more revenue and views. Like, I was just hate watching them sometimes. Sometimes they would say something about something else that I would kind of agree with, but then, like, I was just like, I just saw it for what it was, and I was like, all right, I'm unsubbed. I'm not watching any of this. I'm done with it. I'm done with fake negativity or negativity for monetary exchange, because that's all it is. Especially when they openly admit, I don't like always talking about this, and I know my viewership is always tired of this, but it gets the clicks and it gets me money. When it's just like, well, you're admitting you're only doing it for the clicks at that point. It's just fucking, it's just whatever it is, man. Do you think Henry Cavill Superman can show up in Black Adam or Shazam 2? I hope he shows up in Black Adam. I don't think he'll be in Shazam 2. I think The Rock, out of anybody at DC right now, has the most power to get them to actually include Henry Cavill in something. And I imagine it'll probably be like a post-credit scene or something like that. Do I have a PS5 or an Xbox or just a PC gamer? I've finally actually managed to get thanks to PlayStation. If you're trying to get a PlayStation 5, the best way is to keep an eye out for the, I forget what it's called, but it's like a queued event. If you have a PlayStation Now or PlayStation Plus account and you sign into your PSN online, sometimes they will open up a queue to go into the store when they get stock. That is the highest chance you actually have of getting a PS5 is by getting it directly from PlayStation. And I was lucky enough to get one. I do have one. And I'm going to be playing late tonight. I don't know where everybody is time zone wise, but later tonight, probably around 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, more than likely, I'll be playing Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, the new DLC for the game, and see how that goes. I'm really looking forward to that. But I do mostly PC game. If I have the option to play a game on PC versus a console, I will buy it on PC. Because it's just better. Like 100%. So like, but if it's an exclusive, I just have my consoles really for exclusives. I haven't turned on my Xbox One in probably 3 or 4 years now because all of their new releases come to PC. So I just get them on PC. I only had an Xbox for Halo, and the next Halo game's coming on PC, so day one. So I'm just going to get it on PC. So I still have my PlayStation, I still have my Nintendo Switch, but I'm mostly on my PC. In case you missed it, apparently they've found strong choices for live-action Zuko, Katara, and Sokka. I'm glad they went backward on that whole like leak about their ages being swapped around. Now they did still change Sokka and Zuko's ages and Katara's. So I'm curious to see how that's going to change the story moving forward. I'm not all that excited for Netflix's Avatar series. I'm intrigued, I'm curious, but I have no confidence in it. Especially since whatever they're doing over there made the actual creators of Avatar leave and go get their own studio. Because whatever's happening in Netflix, that live action series is completely independent and separate from Nickelodeon and Avatar Studios. Love Tyler Hoechlin as Superman. Henry Cavill is great. Haven't seen Christopher Reeves or Brandon Routh, but I'm sure everyone has their great portrayal of the character. Tyler is right now my favorite. Honestly, I would agree with you on that one. I watched the Christopher Reeve stuff when I grew up. I saw Brandon Routh, obviously, when Superman Returns came out while I was in high school, and it was a boring movie, but I thought he was a great casting. I liked seeing him reprise that role because he was meant to be a continuation of the Christopher Reeve Superman because it was in the same continuity. And seeing him reprise that same role in Crisis on Infinite Earths, carrying on the Christopher Reeve's legacy, was really cool. I think Brandon Routh's a really great Superman. He's never really gotten the chance to shine in the right kind of ways. Henry Cavill, also, same thing, great casting, but I don't think he's got to excel in all the ways that a lot of people who love the traditional version of Superman to actually see it. And Tyler Hoechlin, given while he was on Supergirl, those writers fucking hated him and did everything they could do to make him the butt of every joke. Now that he's got his own show, and a complaint that I never had with him while he was on Supergirl was his portrayal of the character. The writing, the way they treated the character was trash, but his portrayal was never the problem. And Superman Lois, with him being the star and the lead, I thought it was fucking great. I think he's easily become my favorite live action Superman right now. What do I want to see in the Man of Steel 2? I would really like to see Brainiac. I really want to see Superman face off against Brainiac. How often do you go live? They're usually Saturdays. Would love to join next time. Sometimes it can just be randomly during the week, just depending on how I'm feeling about it. If it's a night I don't have any shows to review or react to. But every Saturday around 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the U.S., I try to go live for at least 2 or 3 hours. And if there's like a big game that comes out that I want to play, I'll try to stream the crap out of it as much as I can. Like Resident Evil 8 came out, I streamed like Friday to Sunday as like frequently to get through the game while I could. The weekends are really the only times I'm mostly free, aside from Sundays, because there's Legends tomorrow and Batwoman. So I try to as much, but at the very least, at the bare minimum, I'm sticking to my Saturday time slot. So if you want to hang out, then I'm here every Saturday around this time. Do you think Obi-Wan versus Vader rematch is going to turn out in Kenobi? How is it going to turn out? I don't know. I mean, obviously Kenobi doesn't die because he goes into the original trilogy, but I don't know. I know some people think it might be a Force battle, a battle of their minds connecting through the Force, but I hope it's actually just in it. At least they're not whitewashing the show. What was that a reference to? Oh, yes, definitely. The Avatar thing. Sorry, I got lost track in the chat. Have you checked out the Elden Ring trailer yet? I've seen a few seconds of it, but I stopped myself from watching it because I didn't know if I wanted to react to it or not. At this point, it's a little too far gone at this point to do a video on it and have it actually be worth it, I think. So I'm probably going to check it out later on my own. I'm really looking forward to it, especially with George R.R. Martin's involvement and my more recent appreciation for FromSoft. It started, my first FromSoft game was Sekiro. Really liked it. And then I went back and played Dark Souls Remastered all the way through and had a fun time with that. I started Dark Souls 2, but I just couldn't get into it. I wish they would just remaster it because I cannot stand the UI and the way it looks. I downloaded Bloodborne. I haven't played it yet. But I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see where they go with it. One of the first things I got once I actually got my hands on a PS5 was I got Demon Souls. Haven't played that yet. But I'm looking forward to Elden Ring. It looks cool from what I have seen, the little bit I've seen, and the fact that George R.R. Martin's involved. Do I like shows like Family Guy and American Dad? Never really liked American Dad too much. I watched a lot of Family Guy back in the day, but it definitely wore thin with me over the years. Like I just can't take it. I can't care about it anymore right now. What are your thoughts on Amy Adams, Lois Lane? I like her. I just like with a lot of the characters, I don't think she got enough time to really shine. A lot of the focus was on elsewhere. I think in BVS was the most she's gotten to really do really much of anything. Not bad, not terrible. I think in Man of Steel, she was more of just like a name. She had a couple of sassy moments here and there, but I don't know. Not a bad casting. I just wish we would have had some more character focus on some of them. Can you do a Fortnite? No. Next Saturday. It all depends on how I'm feeling, man. I know this is one of the reasons why I have neglected to stream any of my Fortnite stuff in a long time, because I know there's specific people that'll just ask for that to be the only thing I stream, and I that is not how I work. I play it more in my spare time than I do wanting to stream it. If I had to pick somebody else to play Captain America, who would it be? Ooh. If I had to pick somebody else to play Captain America, who would it be? Anthony Starr. Complete opposite of Homelander. Yeah, who's my favorite character on DC's Stargirl show? Luke Wilson's character, Pat. Pat is my favorite character, hands down. Ralph catching the plane over the baseball field was the best Superman scene ever put on film. What do I think? Honestly, I gotta say, like, out of everything we had seen up to that point, it was just, I thought it was still boring. Superman catching the plane is like the most basic thing you can do. So I was not impressed by it, personally. I thought that was him lifting the Kryptonite continent, though, at the end was the biggest thing I think we've seen put to film that was pretty cool. So, that movie, I think that was the coolest Superman thing we've seen in a long time. The plane thing is just standard Superman. We've seen Superman, Supergirl, all these people catch planes. So I wasn't that hyped when he caught a plane. Can you show us your favorite Funko Pop? That's a tough one. I got a lot of favorites. Probably my Darth Revan one. Where? Me. I did finally get this updated Oliver one. That one was a hard one to get. Isn't it weird that Tyler Hoechlin's Heat Vision were blue on Supergirl and now they were red on Superman and Lois? Yeah, it's just different showrunners, different writers, and whatever. Supergirl was my least favorite show. Supergirl is my least favorite. It's got some of my favorite actors and favorite characters, but as far as the shows go, it's probably my least favorite. I rage quit that show after season 2 with the whole every Superman scene that was in season 2. I rage quit. I just couldn't watch it. When I only went back to the show via reactors, and I know this is a sin to admit, but I went back. I was like, I'm not watching this show. I'm not watching a billion hours of the show to catch up for Crisis on Infinite Earths based on my previous enragement with the show. So like I went back and I watched Blind Waves reactions to each episode to catch up on where the story was. But now I'm actually watching it as it comes out. And actually this recent season has been some of the best the show's been in a long time. And the showrunner and the writer, not the showrunner, the producer and the writer that gave me the most headaches quit before season 6. So they're not working on the shows anymore. Superman. They say Superman does not exist in Christopher Nolan's Batman universe. I cannot see a universe where Batman exists or Superman not. Well, sorry, but that's the truth. Superman does not exist in the Christopher Nolan universe. What would you like to see happen at DC Fandom 2.0? I would like to see a lot more either concept art or maybe a trailer for the Flash movie. Thanks for tuning in, Philly. See you guys later. Superman looking at the Earth in black suit is quite cool. Definitely agree with that. What's up, Diogo? Shout out to Portugal. I'm doing all right today. Thank you. I hope you're doing well. again, you're going back to that Val Kilmer thing. You love those movies, man. That's all you talk about. Would you like Grant Gustin, the Grant Flash crossover with Tyler Superman on Superman and Lois, where we can get classic race scene of them? I would love that. I would really like them to do that. That would make me really happy. I never watched any Arrowverse content bar Superman and Lois. What's worth watching? I would say seasons, whether or not you continue, because they're not consistent. Like, I will be the first to admit that the seasons are not all equal, but I still find all of them, despite it, worth watching. But the must watch, if you want to get more into the Arrowverse, is Arrow's season 1 and 2, and then Flash season 1 and 2, and then see if you want to go from there. Both shows kind of start to dip in season 4 for a little bit. I think Arrow goes out strong in the last 2 seasons. I think the last season is like some of the best television in a long time, especially superhero related. But the Arrow season 1 and 2, the Flash season 1 and 2, especially because Arrow season 2 sets up the Flash. So if you want to kind of know what's going on, I would start there. The Arrow season 1 and season 2 are some of my best favorite TV show superhero things, period. Same with the Flash. Again, they're long seasons, so some of the episodes can feel like filler, and some of them are. You just got to push through. What do you think Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton's roles will be about in the Flash movie? Ben Affleck will basically just be there to say goodbye to Barry as he goes off into the multiverse, and then he will probably not be Bruce Wayne when he comes back. Whatever Barry does, I feel like will delete Ben Affleck from the continuity. Michael Keaton will probably be our mentor role going through the film. That's my guess. You think we'll see Ahsoka in the Bad Batch? Probably. I think so. Was that Zod of the last episode of Superman and Lois? I don't think so. I think it was Hell. Hell. Super cool Funko Pop collection. Thank you, Amski. Akimsi, sorry. I've always been DC greater than Marvel, especially Justice League cartoons, but underwhelmed with the DCEU. Heard mixed reviews on the Arrowverse. I mean, like with any broadcast television show, you're going to have your dips. It's not going to have the quality of a premium network like HBO or a paid streaming service, because again, it's broadcast television. So you have to set your expectations with that. You cannot compare it to something that comes out on HBO. You can't compare it to something that comes out on Netflix. You can't compare it to something that comes out on Disney Plus. It's not the same. Different constraints, different restrictions, different rules for what they can show and what they can do, especially the budget. But I think what they were able to do with all of those constraints, especially if you're a DC fan, and again, be open to the multiverse, because there are changes that they had to do because Warner Brothers would not let them do certain things, so they had to adapt. And you'll see what I mean if you actually start. But I think Arrow and The Flash are top notch. Arrow is in my top 10 shows of all time right now, even despite its not so great seasons. What do you have? Do you have Cobra Kai Funko Pops? I see 2 in the background. Just these 2. They're the only 2 that are out. These are the only 2 Cobra Kai Pops that I know of. Just, oddly enough, which I think is kind of offensive, it's just Johnny and Daniel. Like, none of the kids, not even Hawk or Miguel, have their own pop, which is weird to me. Like, I feel like that's an obvious choice, is to have pops of those 2. Think John Henry Irons will get his steel suit in Superman and Lois? I hope so. I hope when they team up at the end, when it comes down to the final fight against Morgan Edge, I hope he's in a steel suit with a hammer and everything. I don't know if he'll have the cape. I would just personally, as like a fan of that kind of thing, like him to have the cape as well on his suit, but I'll be fine if he's just got the armor and the hammer. But I do think he'll come back for the final fight against Morgan Edge and his army of Kryptonians. And the Barry will create a new DCEU universe where all the events happen. Only difference is the events of Batman 89 happen in DCEU too. Maybe. It's possible. They could overwrite some things. It's curious. That makes sense. Didn't know what CW was. I'll give Arrow and Flash a shot. Yeah, man. Definitely check it out. I believe they're both still on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, all of it's on there. I don't know. Well, also depending on where you are, because I know Netflix has different things in different regions. What's my real name? Michael. Mike. Michael. Mikey. And if you like how that they set up the other stuff, of course, there's Legends of Tomorrow, which is a very different kind of show. The first 2 seasons are pretty kind of serious, still fun and wonky. But after season 3 onward, it's been like watching cocaine, like watching somebody like actively film an acid trip almost. It's a weird show, but fun kind of weird. So only if you're into that, but I think The Flash and Arrow are my 2 favorite DC shows. And then all the crossovers. All of the crossovers are really good. Because that's one thing that I really loved about it, is because they set up this shared universe much better and faster than the films have. Whether you like the shows or not, you can't really argue that. They've at least had a successful shared universe before the films did. All their team up episodes, all their huge crossover events are a lot of fun. And you don't really see that on TV a lot, or especially while those shows were airing. Shows crossing over with other shows, episodes tying into other things, shows referencing the other show all the time, and then having these big get-togethers where everybody shows up and has a good time for like 5 episodes. It's a lot of fun, man. Do you think we can get other cameos in the Flash movie? For sure. I think we'll get plenty of cameos in the Flash movie. We'll have nothing over here. Stream or VPN. Damn. All right. Well, VPN to the US and log into Netflix, and you got everything you need. Crisis on Earth X is still my favorite crossover. I love Crisis on Infinite Earths, but Crisis on Earth X was just amazing. Oh, so good. If you have watched it, what did you think about Gotham? I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think it had one of the most disappointing finales in a show that I've seen in a really long time. I was really disappointed with the show. Or the show, not the show, the finale. But I really enjoyed the show. I like the cast. I really love dude Cameron Monaghan as their version of the Joker. Underrated to all hell. Or at least just doesn't get the amount of attention that it should. I think it was... I like the show a lot. It was campy, but dark. So it's a good balance, I think it did. Did you cry when the Penguin died in Batman Returns? No. I did not cry at all when he died. I was like, hell yeah! Gotham was such a unique show, in my opinion. I heard lots of good things about the Crisis crossovers, but again, never watched the availability to watch. Yeah, man, let me know. Feel free to comment. Join my Discord. Guys, come hang out in the Discord. I love to keep tabs on what everybody's watching, because I can't always read or respond to every comment. So, you got Discord. Come hang out, and we can chat. Let me see if I can find the URL for it, because I am going to need to leave. I'm probably should have already left by now. If that doesn't work, yeah, I'm pretty sure that link still works. If not, use that one. Really loving Superman and Lois. Like it better than the Flash. I like it a lot now, and definitely compared to the Flash right now, for sure. I still personally enjoy the Flash season 1 and season 2 more, right? Than just because of it's fun. Is Boys worth watching? Yes. Yes, it is. Have I watched Krypton? Not yet. I want to. I was going to check it out, but then I got turned off by it getting canceled. Once I heard about it getting canceled, I was like, oh, well, shit. Have I played Battlefront 2? If so, who's my favorite hero? Anakin, I think, or Anakin and Maul. I really like playing as. And don't forget to watch Blade Runner. I'll get to it eventually. I bought it already. I bought the, what is it, the final cut? Whatever the definitive edition was. I finally bought it. So I will watch it eventually. Took me too long to actually finally watch A Quiet Place, but sometimes it just takes motivation for something new to come out for me to dive into something. But guys, I do need to go. I need to get out of here, get some dinner, run some errands real quick before things start to close. Thank you everybody for tuning in, for hanging out, having all the questions, engaging, joining the Discord because we just got a bunch of people popping in. Welcome, guys. Yeah. All right, guys. I got channels up there. If you have suggestions for any channels, I've got a feedback and suggestion channel for you guys. Just let me know, or you can just put it in there and at me, and I'll see if we can get it added. I'm pretty much the sole mod of this thing for the most part. Take care, everybody. Thank you all. I'll catch you guys later tonight if you want to see me play the new Final Fantasy game. Take it easy, guys.